Hello everyone, I am Nurul Ain Sani as the second presenter for Group 6. For under the gender and politeness, I would like to cover two topics which are gender exclusive language. Second, gender language features. Gender language features, I'm going to share with you how to distinguish male and female's linguistic characteristics. First and foremost, let us see gender exclusive language or sexism or sexist language that can be defined as the most powerful language which sexism and gender discrimination are reproduced. So this sexist language includes all people, but unintentionally or not excludes a gender, either males or females. So English language favors the masculine gender as opposed to the feminine. According to Atkinson, linguistic sexism is the language interaction strategies between a man and a woman that may depreciate women as interactants through a wide range of verbal practices and how women are actually labeled and referred to. In the other words, linguistic sexism is an expectations or assumptions that distinguish men and women in terms of their speech styles. First and foremost, semantic collocation. We can see that a single word is highlighted or is distinguished into two genders, male and female. First, like for example, the word tram. For male, this word can you use for a person with no home or job who wanders from place to place or a drifter. But for women, tram is used as a woman considered to be sexually immoral. For example, prostitute. Second example of semantic collocation, as mentioned by Lelligan 2012, the word loose. For men, it is used to highlight a casual person, but for women, it refers to a woman considered to be sexually promiscuous. So you can see the way meaning is created for a single word in society depends upon dividing the world into positive, which mostly refers to men, and negative refers to female, according to the semantic sex prototypes. Second example of sexist language is sex-paired words. For example, master, mistress, governor, governess, bachelor, spinster, lady, and gentleman. So this is under the article by Nika that highlight sex-paired words in everyday discourse. You can see lady is used to display to be used for a woman of higher classes from higher classes, while gentleman we use for any well-mannered or charming man. Second, lady is used as the mistress of a household, while gentleman refers to a man who does not work for a living, and and a man who has no official status. Okay, so let us see another example: mistress and master. In Scotland, mistress is used to refer a married woman or a wife, while master a tradesman who is qualified to teach apprentices. Second, mistress is used to highlight a woman with to label a woman with exclusive sexual relationship with a man who provide her with financial support, while master to label a man of a parajudicial officer to have accord with its proceedings. Alright, the third is proverbs. See, this is type of a sexist language. Let us see the first example. Hendak memakan kecundang orang. It means literally desiring to eat or enjoy something which has been beaten or used by others. But in the other words, it means desiring to marry a divorcee or a used woman. Second proverb as a sexist language is sesenyum perempuan yang elok paras itu tangis kendi wang kamu. In the other, literally, it means the smile of a beautiful woman will cause a man's wallet to cry. To be exact, it means, as a sexist language, it means many men lose their wealth because of beautiful woman or a cunning lady. Third example of proverb is bagai anak dara sudah berlaki. Literally, it means a young or a single maiden who behaves as a married woman. But to highlight the sexism of the language, it means a shabby or shameless young woman who has a roving eye. Next, gender language features between male and female. So let us see according the gender differences in language use according to Deborah between male and female. For example, first, let us see the first example in male, which is physical orientation, where male tends to avoid eye contact, but female use eye contact. Second, ritual opposition, where male they love to play around or having a joke. In other words, they love to fight for fun. But for female, they may fight, but not for fun, but just for a certain situation. Third, status and connection. Male love to talk about something because they want to maintain the status. But female, they talk for solidarity, or they talk something based on the interests or objectives or standards. Fourth, directness and directness. For male, they love to explain from decision or discussion, like they are collecting ideas at the same time and to discuss with each other. But female, they tend to start from discussion to decision. They focus on the final task of the work. Fifth, conversational style. Male, they avoid trouble talk. They always straightforward and avoid taking a risk. But for female, they tend to involve with a trouble talk because they want to create a rapport or form some sort of relationship. Six, male, for public and private talk, male tends to be talkative in public, but they are actually quite in private, especially in the working sectors. We can see that sometimes male are more forward in terms of working because they are actually because the works are quite progressing. But female also quiet in public, but they are talkative in private, especially in expressing their ideas or intentions towards something. So this another linguistic differences according to Keith and Shuttleworth. So according to these two researchers, they mentioned that women, they are actually talk more than men because they love to explaining something in more in depth. They talk too much. They're more polite in some sort of situations. They're indecisive or hesitant. They love more to complain and nag. They ask more questions. They support each other. They're more cooperative. While men, they swear more. Men don't talk about emotions because they usually being straightforward. They speak more authority, give more commands, insult each other. So, but this can be highlighted in terms of the conversation or friendship. Okay, men tend to be competitive in conversation, dominate conversation, talk about women and machines in the same way or at the same time, and they can interrupt more. So these are the examples, the common features of language between men and also female. Okay, another differences that can be highlighted, we can see according to Wahyuningsih, which this researcher study about the linguistic differences between male and female students from a religion department. So from this research, I would like to highlight two aspects of differences. First is attitude differences, in terms of how male and female are expressing ideas in searching for solutions. We can see that men try to find out the solutions directly when they have problems. Meanwhile, women try to show sympathy by expressing panic statements and melancholic gestures. For example, let us see how women interact with other women when they are facing a problem. For example, I have a headache. Help me, friends. Oh my god, where can we find a clinic here? Okay, but what about males' conversation? More, do you know the way to Museum Kretek, which is this is Indonesia. This is in Indonesia. Manju says, no, I don't know. I need to ask someone. People say that the museum is very unique. Okay, let's go. Okay, so you can see that men is more too straightforward because they are directly to um uh, to find out the solution, while woman is more to expressing the inner sides of their feelings before finding out on how they are going to find out the solution for certain situations or problems that they are encountered. The second aspect of uh, features in linguistic between male and female, we can see in terms of vocabulary differences. For example, first, adjectives. We can see men tend to seldom use adjectives. Okay, but women, they always use adjectives in most of the conversation. Soft, wonderful, nice, and overall they use 11 as highlighted in the study. Second is color words. Men seldom use color words, but women, of course, they use color words. Amazing, for example, amazing, extraordinary, unique, awesome, and so on. Third, swear statements. Men use swear. Men usually love to swear because they want to show the closeness. For example, damn. Okay, this is most prominent or happened in most of the conversation between friendship of the friendship. But women, swear statements can be annoying to relationship because it neglects the solidarity of the certain issues that they are going to highlight in their conversation. So they tend to use oh my god, wow. Fourth is diminutives. So for men, they most probably they avoid words that sound problematic because they would like to maintain manly characteristics. But women, they love to indicate affections, so sweet or dear. Like another word is to increase solidarity, like please, sorry. Okay, so you see that sometimes men are these are the common features that we can see around us, especially when we are interacting with our friends or classmates. Okay, so let's go in depth about the female characters or the features of female and also male. For female, first is intensifiers. They love to use so, such, extremely, definitely. This is actually based from this article from Wahyuningsih. Second, they love to use H's, like I think, you know, I really, I mean, I suppose. Third, tag questions. You didn't, did you? Fourth, minimal responses. Yeah, right. But it does mean something to highlight or to explain the following statements in their conversation. The fifth is language elegance. Oh my god, oh my goodness. The next is politeness. I would like to apologize. Please, could you please? Last is formal language. I don't think, in my personal opinion. And how about males? So males, they are showing quite difference in linguistic features compared to female. For male, first is strategy in controlling the conversation. They love to maintain masculinity, because they focus in power in taking decisions and risks. Second, they love to do minimal responses. Okay, we'll do. Okay, that's it. So compared to minimal responses of women, we can see yeah, right, but he has more following explanation or further explanation compared to men. Third is taboo words, which is damn or S word or F word, which are these are the most common words used by male, especially when they are talking to their friends. Last is comments. Give me that paper. Very straightforward. Okay, no formal language is involved in in the conversation. Okay, so let us see the language features of male and female from two movies, which are Ocean's 11 from in 2001, and the second movie is The Devil Wears Prada. Okay, George Clooney says, hi, my beloved ex, I'm out of prison, you should dump your Andy. But Julia Roberts says, okay. Alright, so we can see that how George Clooney expressed in this sentence, in the dialogue, which is more joke, at the same time more straightforward. But Julia Roberts used a minimal response, but it does actually mean a lot of interpretations when it comes to how women respond to something. The second example from the dialogue between male and female is George Clooney says, because he's a jerk, you should be with a great guy like me, not a jerk like him. More swear words used by a man. Alright, and then Julia Roberts says, he's a successful businessman who treats me with affection and respect. You are a career criminal who lied to me our whole relationship. How is he the jerk? Okay, you can see that how George Clooney tend to be more using a lot of swear words, but women they tend to express the solidarity in terms of the objective of the content and how it is actually should be different from what the guy is trying to say in this conversation. Okay, another example is from the movie entitled The Devil Wears Prada. Miranda says, why didn't you confirm? Emily says, I did. He must have gotten sick overnight. I'm so sorry. Okay, so you can see that the word politeness or solidar or the word politeness is inserted here, which is I'm so sorry. More politeness. But for Andy, the second example, Nigel says, oh my god, I love your look. So you can see that how they insert some sort of female linguistic features here. It's like Oklahoma and New Jersey fell in love and had a baby. Welcome to the dollhouse, baby. Alright. Okay. The last part that I would like to the last example that I would like to highlight is from the third movie, which is Little Women in 1995. Alright, so this is under the article entitled Gender Stereotyping in Little Women. Okay, for this article, it mentions about how this movie challenge the stereotypical gender roles and push the boundaries of expectations. So we can see Josephine March displayed a characters more or less feminine and tomboyish in this movie. So surprisingly, it shows that Joe's character that highlight that women can be not only married and feminine, but also happily independent and self-sufficient. And this can be displayed throughout the conversation on how Josephine express or feelings of anger or resentment towards other people about how women should behave in the society. Okay, let us take a look at this example of the dialogue between Laurie and Joe March. Laurie is actually a boy but has a characteristics of female, but Joe more to tomboyish characters. Like for example, we can see Laurie says, "How is your cat, Miss March?" asked the boy. And Joe March says, "Nicely, thank you, Mr. Lawrence. But I am not Miss March. I am only Joe." You can see that this is how the character is trying to break down the gender stereotypical roles and some part of the linguistic features. Okay, and Laurie says, "I'm not Mr. Lawrence. I'm only Laurie." Okay, so Laurie loves to use more female character features, especially when it comes to name. And Joe March says, "Laurie Lawrence, what an odd name." Okay, this is how Joe March was very straightforward in expressing her opinion about Laurie's name. Okay, so the last part is Joe March says, "I hate my name too. So sentimental." Alright, I wish everyone would say Joe instead of Josephine. Alright, so I hope that this is actually clearly explaining to you how Josephine felt the expectations and repression of how one should be presented in the society, in terms of the language features that are used to interact with each other in order to break down the gender stereotypical roles. It does not necessarily to categorize people into particular groups because of the genders. Alright, so to conclude, the two topics that I cover about language sexism refers to words or phrases that stereotype members in genders, and it tends to make certain groups feel that they are less or more important, superior or inferior. In the context of language features, people normally have different ways of using a language. Men and women, they develop differences in language use. For example, language patterns, ways of interactions, topics, and styles of language according to Wardock 2006. While Leboeuf mentioned that the highest status group in society usually adopts a formal style, like women tend to overcome men in terms of the tendency in adopting or supporting the correctness of behavior to show the social status, or in the other words, they tend to maintain the solidarity compared to men. So I hope that you guys at least gain something, and let us see the third presenter that will be presenting about gender and politeness in a more widened topics and explanations. Thank you.